from a desert base. Truth don't hide, it just waits for a face, for a face. Big footprints in a pine-slick path. Bob Lazar files with a government laugh. Court dates lost in a sea of red tape. We ain't 10-4, we just stay awake. True crime tales in a borrowed voice. We speak for the silence, not by choice. Got boots on the dirt and eyes on the skies, digging up stories they hoped would die. Might, truth, and thunder, we don't back down. With a Bible in the glove box and boots on the ground. Aliens, lies, and backroom deals. We break that silence, 'cause the soul feels real. Military broadcast, midnight run, teaching vets how to speak what the war's done. From trigger pulls to microphone stands, from combat zones to healing hands. Public records, missing names, unsealed files, classified games. We chase what's buried, not what trends, and we pray for light at the truth's deep end. Might, truth, and thunder, we don't back down. With a Bible in the glove box and boots on the ground. Aliens, lies, and backroom deals. We break that silence, 'cause the soul feels real. Some chase fame, we chase the facts. Some fold quick, we read the tracks. It ain't paranoia if it's always been there, and we ain't scared to lay it bare. Into the storm. We ain't perfect, but we were made for this form.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast here on Military Broadcast Radio. I'm Amber, and I am by myself today. Well, actually, no, I'm not. Oh, I got somebody to come up here with me. Well, happy Veterans Day to everybody, and this is Audrey. Hey, Audrey.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Well, we're just talking about Veterans Day today. It's an important day, and I happened to find a video of my cousin that was uploaded onto YouTube 13 years ago, and he was a veteran. He has since passed, but I'm going to play his story for us, and so I think that's how we're going to start it out, but thank you for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to go and support our veterans, please go to Military Broadcast Radio or mbradio.us and show us some love. So, Audrey, do you have any family members who were in the military?
Yes, my brother is a Marine veteran, and then my other brother is an Air Force veteran. My grandfather, I don't remember what branch he was in, but he was in one of the branches. My kid's grandfather, so their dad's dad, was a Marine. Yeah, a lot of family members.
Okay. Yeah, I have a lot too. I grew up in a military town as well. So
Yeah.
I've got myself and my husband, my grandfather, my father, stepdad, a bunch of cousins, a bunch of other extended family, uncles. Most of my uncles were Marines. So, but yeah, I come from a very rich military family. So I just figured, this would be a great time to get on and showcase Military Broadcast Radio a little bit and, just support our veterans.
Yes, I agree.
Hello, Ruth Carroll. And thank you for everybody watching on TikTok. I hope you're having a blessed day.
Yes, I'm streaming this over on my TikTok, as you can see from the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to actually play my cousin's video, and his name is Daniel Tully, and he was in the Army. And so let's just watch this real quick. Let me know if you can't hear it.
I tell people all the time, if this dog could talk, she would know all my secrets, because I have told her everything, and she listens, and she doesn't judge, she just listens, and I swear I think sometimes she understands. I was medevaced out of Iraq, and I was in Germany, and I was trying to pretty much keep it a secret, because I honestly thought that I could. I don't know what I thought. I thought that they were going to give me some shots or some drugs, and I would be okay and redeploy. But when my wife showed up in Germany, I pretty much realized that something was bad if they notified her. There was a point where it was even questionable if I could walk or how well I would walk again. And I had broken my neck. I'm not saying life was over, but life as I knew it was over, because I couldn't really play with my children. They couldn't, jump on my back. They couldn't, hop on my legs. Everything I enjoyed doing was over with. I came to Fort Stewart as part of the Wounded Warrior Battalion, and I was there when Pause for Vets, the program began with Mr. Henry. He came and they were asking for volunteers to be a part of the program, and I volunteered. And Deja and Pumpkin were two of the first dogs that came there, and I was tasked to basically just take care of them and help assist in their training. And Deja kind of attached to me, and after a few months, Mr. Henry just asked me if I would be interested in keeping her for myself, and I had became attached enough to her. I said of course I would, so we just kind of bonded to each other, and I've been with her for going on a couple years now. I've had a lot of anger issues, just through disappointment. I guess I was angry because of disappointment. Her number one thing she would do for me, is just keep me company emotionally, because no matter where I go, I take her with me, and she keeps me calm. Because if I'm when I go to a crowded area or someplace I'm unfamiliar with, I have her to rely on, that she's one thing steady in my life, no matter where I'm at. She's taught me patience. Patience, patience. I don't feel in any way special. I feel very grateful, and I have a lot of gratitude for the Pause for Vets program. I'm thankful for Deja, but I would tell any veteran out there, any veteran, thank you for your service. You are appreciated even if you're not told that often. And if you are going through difficult times, it's not over, no matter how bad you might think it is. I mean, we've all lost friends, and we've seen things that we're not comfortable with, and we're not comfortable with talking about. But in time, some of those memories, they fade, they don't go away, but they do fade, and you become more comfortable living your life. So just don't give up, and volunteer. Volunteering does help. Work with the VA clinics, get involved with the VA homes, and talk to other veterans. Psychiatrists are great, but veterans, they understand more. I've never seen her angry, but I believe wholeheartedly if someone were to treat myself or my family cruelly, I do believe that she would have it in her to protect us. I truly believe that. I do.
Okay, so that was my cousin Daniel Tully, and that was Paws for Vets. So we also have another guest. Hey, Brandy.
Hey, girl. Sorry, I'm running behind.
No, you're good.
I was helping my grandson with his Veterans Day project. So,
Oh, what's he doing?
he interviewed his pawpaw, and I had to get pictures together from my husband's time through service of basic training and what he did in the war and things like that. And he was making a slideshow for class tomorrow.
Oh,
So
that's
it was
awesome.
fun. It was kind of neat reminiscing and finding pictures.
Yeah, it really is. I actually spent a little bit of time in a veteran's home recently who had passed and got to see some really cool things that one day I'll be able to share, but at this moment I can't.
It was kind of one of those, we started texting my husband's best friend from the military that was our best man in our wedding. We were like sending pictures of look what we found. You know, because when you start reminiscing, you're like, oh, remember this? And so it's kind of fun. Made us miss those days.
Yeah, I had a good time even though I was only in a year, but the time I spent, I really enjoyed my time in the military. So,
well, Dave was 9 months over in Iraq, Saudi Arabia for Desert Storm and Shield, and then was a civilian contractor with the Stryker unit when they developed the Strykers. And so we've had some time, and there's fun memories and neat projects that you're a part of through those times.
yeah, we'll tell him thank you for his service.
I will. And thank you for yours, girl.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I was only in a year. I kind of feel weird about the whole veteran status because of that, but at the same time, the VA recognizes me as one, so I'm good with it.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you're in; it's a matter of being a part of it, and it's still, everybody's journey is different. And my husband thinks that spouses need to be recognized on these days because of our job, when they're away and support and all of that. So him and I were having that discussion the other day.
It's important. Audrey, what do you want to say?
I was just going to ask, where were you stationed and where did you do like basic and all that?
So I was I went to basic at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and that's the only place I went. So I did like my 7th week of basic training, like right around there, I got hurt and broke my back in 3 places and messed up my neck. And so they put me into a physical training rehabilitation platoon, which was like a new thing they were trying at the time. It was chaos and a lot of stuff happened. But yeah, that's where I was, and that's where I met my husband. So
Nice.
yeah. So that video that we were watching earlier was my cousin Daniel. He got hurt in Iraq, and I didn't actually know Daniel very well because he was adopted out of our family, and he didn't find us until a few years before he passed away. He passed away in a motorcycle accident. Yeah, and actually it was November 9th of 2013. So, yeah. So I just wanted to honor him and what he went through. He's buried at Arlington, and they are going to be laying a wreath for him. And I'll actually play a commercial for that real quick while I'm thinking about it so I don't forget it. But these people are going to be laying a wreath for Daniel at Arlington this Christmas.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcasts, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 back sponsorship group page. For every veteran's wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathsacrossamerica.org/MBR.
Okay, so that's Wreaths Across America. And like I said, they're going to be laying a wreath for Daniel this Christmas for me, plus a few other veterans that I don't even know who they're going to be, but I'll get a picture of their grave and I'll post that online when that happens.
It's a beautiful project.
It really is. Yeah.
Sorry about the noise. I have a chicken in here that's talking to me.
No, you're all right. Usually we've had birds on here. We've had dogs, cats, all kinds of things. So don't worry about it.
She got acting kind of sick, like she's got a vitamin deficiency. So I had to bring her inside and treat her for a few days. And she's just a talking.
I just had to mute mine a while ago. And Amber thought I was talking to her. Like, I did have a question, but I was telling my son to turn down his radio because he was playing Juicy J.
I was on with Toddy the other day on her argument channel, and my son came down and flushed the toilet.
Oh, that's so nice because then they think it's you.
Yeah. I was like, dang, you guys are adults and you can't just read the room.
Right.
Yeah, I have never been to Arlington before, but I really want to go, and I may actually take a trip up there after they lay the wreath.
We got to visit when we were in West Texas, the Chris Kyle Monument, and I need to post those pictures because it is absolutely beautiful, the work that they did there, and to honor his memory. And it's right next to a little VA clinic there in Odessa. And it's so pretty. So pretty.
Oh, I've never seen that one either. Hey, Nancy, welcome.
Hello.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day. Yes.
Yeah, we're just gathering together to kind of just hang out and, talk about veterans and also just talk about whatever we want to talk about, really.
Great. My dad was in the Navy.
Oh, he was?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank him for his service if he's still alive. My dad and my stepdad were both in the Army, and they were both stationed at Fort Sill, and and I ended up in Fort Sill growing up and being born there and everything. So I'm totally military, I guess, in a way, because that's just how I grew up. I don't really know any different other than, being an adult now and not living in a military town, but still interacting with the veterans on a regular basis from the VA or, church or whatever. So I've just kind of always been surrounded by veterans, military. And Joy says she loves Fort Sill. I don't know why you do. The land is beautiful, but it's definitely not a place to hang out very, very long.
My stepdad was in the Navy, and he had funny stories, and he was an alcoholic and recovering alcoholic, and then he worked for the state of Texas with alcoholism for years. But when he was in the Navy, he was banned from Great Britain because they were at shore, and he had gone in and had him some fun and was a little drunk and ran the prime minister off the road. He loved to tell that story, and he passed away. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's probably been 25 years now that he passed away, but he loved to tell the story about being one of the only soldiers banned from because he ran their prime minister off the road.
I love that. I love that story.
And that's how he broke the ice with a lot of his clients through the state of Texas.
You always got to have a good story.
Yeah. That's I wish I had a story like that. That would be so much fun.
I was going to say your reaction to them saying they love Fort Sill is like the same reaction I get whenever I tell people I loved Fort Leonard Wood.
Right? It's called Fort Lost in the Woods.
Yeah, I liked it though. There was a lot to do.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I can't think of anything to do.
So they have flights out of there, and if they have extra seats, they'll sell you a ticket. And I did that when I went to CrimeCon Denver last year. And it's a trip because you are just in this Morton building in the middle of a field. You know, there's nothing. And then everything shut down in Dallas because of this huge storm. So everything was delayed, and we were just stuck in this little Morton building. So I was making friends with the soldiers' wives who were trying to fly out. But they had to land a plane there that they weren't expecting. And they, as the people come into this little Morton building, the officer was yelling at them, "You have landed in the middle of Missouri in Fort Leonard Wood. This is a military installation." And one of the wives leans over and she goes, "If anybody has a warrant, they get arrested right now." And he goes, "If you have a warrant, you are going to get arrested," because they run you. And you may not have thought that you were going to land on a military base in the middle of Missouri.
Oh my gosh.
It was a trip.
Airport one time. So whenever I lived on Fort Leonard Wood, a tornado was coming through and I was driving on the road right there. And so me and my friend jumped out of the car and ran over to that airport. And they have like, I don't know what it is, but it's like a restroom for men. And there's these showers. And all of these soldiers were like half naked in these showers whenever we ran in. And like we were hunkered down in these little shower stalls with all these naked men during a tornado.
Oopsies.
I love that.
I got out of my car and I opened the door. I was wearing flip-flops because it was like spring. And flip-flop took off into the air. And that's how I knew like the tornado was too close for comfort.
I'm in trouble.
Well, Nancy's a storm chaser. Have you been that close?
Oh, yes. Almost twice I got sucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, the first time I was on the side of a highway, and we have these two ways. That's how we were talking. But I could just feel that I was too close. We didn't have the radar on our phones like we do now, so it was super unsafe. But I had seen this family down the road. They were peeking through the blinds, and I was like, I'm going to go knock on their door. And it was Ken Henry and his family. His adult son and their family were in the basement. And down the road, they lost everything. All their house, farm equipment, farm animals, everything. But we were safe down there. But I was doing live reports, storm chasing reports from their basement.
Wow.
And they were, "Oh, come on in, she's here. We knew you were close." And so they ushered me downstairs, and they were so great. But there was a Jeep less than a quarter of a mile from where I was sitting in my car, and he got sucked up and thrown into a bluff. He lived, but he had quite the story to tell.
Oh, I bet.
And then in 2003, I was coming down P Highway in the Clever area, and like your mind doesn't comprehend immediately what you're seeing because it's just such destruction. But it had taken the house and thrown it in the road, and Isla Ruth Little was dead in the ditch. And so all communication was out. And so the two-way is how I got help to get there for her. And it was just a crazy night. But yeah, it was too close for comfort 2 times.
Yeah.
Hurricane Alley, and that's what scares me during hurricanes is the tornadoes. It's not the hurricane itself. It's the dang winds and the tornadoes, because you can't predict it. And you can't, half the time they come in the dark anyways, but it's just, we've had Hurricane Ike. We had tornadoes that shifted our house, and the neighbor's house. It like broke the rafters to where it got toothpicks breaking. Like, oh, it was crazy. You look at the house and think nothing's wrong. He's like, no, come look. And we look at his attic and just like little toothpicks all through. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
I
I've
can relate.
never been through one. I've seen them and they've been behind me or in front of me, but none have ever gone over me.
Oh,
Yeah,
Thank
I
God.
went to the F5 in Joplin. I was at 11A in my car whenever it was on the ground.
What?
Yeah.
The big tornado that they talk about, like the documentary that just came out, that one.
yeah.
Oh wow, that's scary.
So I wasn't chasing that night. I was actually anchoring for our station. And then 2 days later, the news director for the station there in Joplin called because he used to work for us. And he was like, I have 8 employees who've lost everything. They haven't been able to go through anything. Can you come and run my newsroom while they take a break? And I was like, absolutely. So I went to press conferences, wrote their news, did everything for them. But it was so emotional. Like everything, there's still parts everywhere, they're doing the best they can to get in these areas. And I mean, it's an experience I will never forget. Just being in that. It's crazy. Sad. So sad.
Yeah, I bet. I've been through lots of hurricanes. I lived in Florida for 21, 22 years, whatever. And we went through lots of them. I think one year we had like 8. I think that was like 2005 when Katrina
Gosh.
went through.
Mhm.
And when Katrina happened, I was in Jamaica. So we flew out like right after it happened or no, right before it happened or something. I don't know. Whatever happened, we were in Jamaica when all of the devastation happened. So like I didn't even know what was going on. And so we all came back and we had no idea the devastation that had happened. It was surreal to know that everybody went through this, but we didn't.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Audrey, have you been in any hurricanes or anything? I know you said the tornado, but
I went through a hurricane in Hawaii that the whole island freaked out about and said it was going to be horrific. And I think that I've been in F1 tornadoes that were worse.
yeah. Yeah, whenever they say a tornado's coming behind a hurricane or during a hurricane, that's when I actually freak out and go to the bathroom and, hunker down. It's not when the hurricane's coming through.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, my husband during Ike, he was like, "No, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna sleep through it." And my son and I both set up listening to the radio and grabbing pillows and putting it in the closet so we could take because you could hear them. I mean, it was crazy. And the news was like, "We didn't have any tornadoes," and I'm like, "Y'all are nuts because we heard them." Like, no.
Yeah, we only evacuated one time in the 20-something years that we lived there. So, and that was towards the end of when we lived there. So it probably would have been 2020, I think. Yeah, whenever there was a big one that came through and it hit Alabama as well. That's the one that we deserted Florida for.
Yeah, I don't remember which one that one was.
I
That
don't
was
even-
after Harvey, because Harvey was our last really bad one. I mean, Laura came through here in 2020, but she hit Louisiana more than she hit us. And but then before that it was Imelda and then Harvey. And Harvey was a flood thing. It just devastated the area with the flooding more than anything.
Mhm. Yeah, natural disasters are scary, and thankfully, I haven't really been through a few. Well, no, I haven't really been through any. So, when I hear about people going through it, we even had a guy who was going to come on, a veteran who was going to come on, and he had served in the National Guard during Hurricane Katrina. And when I sent him some questions that I was going to ask him, he bowed out of the interview because he had such bad PTSD from finding people
Wow.
after Katrina. So it's, from what I understand, it was really terrible. I know my husband went and actually helped like bring water and helped tarp up roofs and things like that because he worked for a ministry called Living Water, and they bottled water for disaster relief and stuff like that. So
We had a big
Yeah.
building that was set up, and the people would, they were shipped up here to
Yeah.
Springfield. And you see it on TV, but to hear their stories firsthand, you're like, is that real?
mhm.
Like, you just really, like, the things they were seeing, and just wow.
Well, and you were a reporter, so you were talking to a lot of these people. Was there one story that stands out the most to you?
Oh, yes. There were these two young girls, and they couldn't have been 18 years old, 18 or 19. And they were in hysterics. Like, I couldn't get them to calm down to talk to me. And they were just, talking about babies, everything that was floating by them and things they saw. And there was a businessman who actually stepped up and provided them housing and like really helped them get back, because they were very that whatever they had seen, it was horrific and life-changing, obviously, but it shook them to their core.
Mm-hmm. I bet it did. I can't even imagine. Like I said, that guy, he shared a few things with me, and it was just like, wow, I didn't realize. And I haven't seen the documentary that was made about Hurricane Katrina, because yeah, I don't like watching TV much, but so, there was something I was going to say. Oh, Nancy, since we're on this subject, so when Gypsy Rose came to Springfield, what do you remember about that time when she was brought in from New Orleans, or not New Orleans, but from Louisiana, as a reporter there? What do you remember about that time and anything about her?
Yeah, I don't remember actually that whole thing with her
Really?
in early time. I remember, I don't even remember if we had a reporter there for the Habitat for Humanity house. We worked with that news station, KY3, that you see all of the coverage come from. And that reporter, I know her.
I'm
But
going to mute you, Audrey, for just a second and see if that.
Is it me or is it Audrey?
I think it's Audrey. I think it has something to do with her streaming on TikTok or something like that.
Oh,
Me twisting my chair. I apologize.
You're good. Okay, go ahead, Nancy. I'm sorry.
oh no, yeah. So I don't really remember that. I remember seeing it on TV. I remember the story, but I don't remember us covering it, or if we had a reporter out there. But it wasn't me. So it didn't really hit my radar.
Okay, it didn't.
Mm-mm.
And you only, since we've got you here, recount that moment when you were being so childish towards Gypsy, saying, "I like your shoes," because you thought you were dealing with a mentally handicapped person.
oh no, I haven't heard this story.
We have to.
Tell
So
us.
I worked for a radio station, and we would have these contests, Take Me Backstage. And you would make a t-shirt and a poster, and then we would go around and pick who wins the tickets. I was in news at the time, so I didn't have much to do with it, because I went over to the morning show in the last part of my career there. But at that point, I was just in news. But I would always interact with all the people there at the arena, and getting everybody hyped up for the concert and having a good time. And we'd have our tent there, and people come and show us the shirts, because we had secret spies who'd go pick a winner, And here she was with her, and she wasn't a stranger to us, because they would show up at the station for tickets. They knew we would have extra tickets, or somebody didn't come pick them up or whatever, and they would show up and get these tickets. So they weren't strangers to us. I mean, I think the station facilitated Gypsy being like queen of the fair day or whatever, just stuff like
Really?
that. So anyway, so there's Gypsy, and they've just got the poster and the shirt and all the stuff, and I know I have a picture with her somewhere, but I cannot find it. But, I was just like, I like your shirt. You look so cute. Your wheelchair is so, and look at when she decorated all this, just like, oh my God. I'm sure I was like, I love your boots. So cute, because you think you're dealing with And then I always
And
say,
now that you know the
I
story,
bet
then
she
it's
just
like,
wanted to man punch me right in the face. Like, I'm 23. Boom.
I I have
Did
a
you do that yourself?
I have a question about that, Nancy.
Yeah.
Did she act the part?
My interaction with her was so minimal, but yeah. Yeah. And I have a friend who I've done videos with, and Emily, her son was the leukemia and lymphoma boy for the
Mhm.
year, and Gypsy was the girl. And so they got to go to Hammond's Field and throw out the first pitch. And she tells this story, and she has pictures. I have them on my TikToks, but she tells the story that you just got the feeling that she wasn't all there, that there was mental diminishment, like something was wrong. And she had on Cars outfit, little mater slippers, again, she's
oh, wow.
she's old, she's just like, something was off, something was weird. And Dee Dee was butterflying around, talking to everybody. But yeah, people that I know who had contact with her, just, it was a different feel. For sure. You weren't dealing with somebody who we see now. I just see her now, and it's not anything like I remember, to even at that one time with the concert where I'm like, did you make that yourself?
I would love to hear her response about that and how she felt when people did that to her, because, I mean, we
Right.
can tell she's not mentally deficient like that. So what the heck was up?
I would never walk up to her and treat, and I'm not proud of that. I shouldn't be doing that.
Well, I mean, you gauge the situation and react appropriately.
Yeah. But that's a fair question. Like, what would she say? I wouldn't walk up to her now and ever be like, I love your wheelchair. Did you make that? That's not the person we're dealing with now. And really think about the dichotomy of that split is weird.
Well, I think too, as a special needs mother, the way you handled it felt appropriate at the time. Like,
Right.
you
I agree.
played on the level that you thought she was at.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've talking with 1980 Millennial about the people in Springfield who had interaction with her and how they feel being duped, so to speak, I guess is an appropriate word for that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they're just kind of they're awestruck by the fact that they were so fooled by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt there was weird stuff going on in that house. Both of them. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
That was whatever that was. But wow, all that stuff coming out with the emails is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing how we were all fed this Dee Dee's a bad person, sweep it under the rug, nothing to see here. Wow.
Mm-hmm. No, and I really wish that somebody would have come and talked to Ashley and I when we were in Springfield to, get to know Dee Dee a little bit more, or just to get to know more of the situation, because there's such a gap in information on Dee Dee and what was the dynamic between them on a regular basis. Because everything
Right.
we've heard from
Not what
Gypsy,
people try to tell us from the outside that we never met.
Yeah.
Because of the skewed vision of Gypsy or Dee Dee, either one. The people that were just there in innocent interactions, I guess you could say.
Yeah, just
nothing
normal
against-
interactions.
And I've done a few like interviews and had conversations with people in the background, and they've kind of reported Dee Dee to be the same way Nancy just said, like a butterfly, going around interacting with people, seeming happy. And, Gypsy seemed like a slow kid, but Dee Dee seemed like she was willing to do what was necessary for her child. Like, she was comforting to her. She basically jumped if Gypsy said she needed something. Has been like the overall summary I've gotten about her from multiple different people.
Yeah, I mean, you get the the information from her family, which seems to be just a lot of pent up jealousy and not being able to get over a lot of things. And then you've got Gypsy's report, which is this terrible monster. And then you've got all these other people who interacted with her that are like, had really good interactions with her. But at the same time, like Nancy said, there was something going on in that house, like we saw with the police reports and everything, where she was bold enough to attack the Domino's pizza delivery guy. So I don't know what she was doing, but something was definitely off. But I would like to know more about her, and the Petries only knew her, growing up, and she left them and they didn't have any contact with her. So they can only give us an insight into who she was growing up. And even then, I think it's really skewed.
And going back to you and Ashley coming here to Springfield and, wanting stories, asking, putting it out on the radio and in the paper, like, people don't want to talk about it. And I don't know if it's because we were all duped and they're embarrassed and they're just over it, or nobody knows the story. It is a TikTok exclusive kind of weird little niche place we live in here.
I think both. I think it's all of that. I think that people, for one, are just ready to move on. I think they are embarrassed and duped, and I think they're shocked that they couldn't catch on.
Yeah.
And don't understand how they didn't miss things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and a lot of people too are still feeding into she was this horrible victim and they don't want to victim shame. Like, I get that comment so much. Oh my God, you're victim shaming. And I'm like, can you not see the real victim in this situation is no longer alive?
Right. But they don't know the story. Every time I'm like, they're like, what are you working on? I'm like, oh, I got this podcast and blah, blah, blah. And then the Gypsy Rose thing. What are you even talking about? Never.
See, I am a little different than everybody else. I think Dee Dee was a victim, but I think she was a perpetrator as well as Gypsy. There were other ways around getting out of the situation than what she chose, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe in psychological and mental abuse
being
very, very real in that house. And that comes from my personal conversations. I have been friends with the Blanchards and the Petries for years. Mm-hmm. And I go way back. I don't know if y'all knew that. And so that's just, now, do I accept Gypsy how she is right now? Absolutely fuck not. Sorry, I said the word.
You're good.
As a matter of fact, she said, this is why you flip-flop. I have never flip-flopped on my side of her story on how I feel for her story, but I am holding her accountable for her behavior and her actions. And she doesn't like that. And people that hold her accountable get booted out of the circle.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they seem to enable her behavior, and especially this last week or two that she's been on, going full force on TikTok with her friends. The things that she's talking about and the things that she's saying, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I have to catch clips. People have to get clips and send it to me because they'll share things because I don't follow any of it anymore. Because I get so frustrated because there's so many things she could have done to make it right and to take accountability and to fix herself. I mean, in all those years of everything that went on psychologically, she's not okay. She hasn't had enough therapy. It takes years and years. Anybody who's been through any kind of therapy knows you don't just do a few months of therapy and you're all better. It takes years and of serious therapy. And I don't think she's done that since she got off parole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I totally agree because
I do.
I think that if she would have gotten out and gone into some kind of program or something, or at the very least done some kind of program from her parents' home, I think it would have been so much more beneficial. And But now that I'm looking at all the documents and everything, wow,
Yeah.
I totally have a different idea of the type of person she is. And so now, I feel like everybody needs to know, and she needs to be held accountable for doing all of that and then going on the internet and wreaking havoc in people's lives.
Those emails are undeniable. That
Right. Oh,
shed a
absolutely.
completely different light on what.
Yeah, when I got those, of course, Mandy sent them to me, and she went through a lot to get those. And thank you, Mandy. And when I started reading those, I was just like floored, especially when the first message is, calling her a goddess. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And we were told, we were all assured that she had no part in that, and that was all Nicholas, and he made her do all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you just showed your butt.
I have messaged 1980 so many times going, oh dear God, please explain this better to me because I can't listen to this anymore. It's like I've had so many questions. It has been sad, just sad, just
Yeah.
sad and frustrating as the only words I can really come up with.
And then when Audrey does the voice, I'm so secondhand embarrassed. I'm just like, not for you, but for what you're reading. I'm just like, who writes that? Oh my word. Oh my word.
Okay, so go ahead, Audrey, and then I'll pick up.
I was gonna say, speaking of the voice, I did the live with her bestie, and you can't get through to that person at all. And every comments was like, say royal mashed potatoes. And so mid sentence for her, I was like, I'm at Cinderella's castle eating royal mashed potatoes. And she crashed out, but it was so worth it.
Audrey, you're so
I
funny.
evidently did the voice and didn't even know it the other day. I'm doing a review of a book of a person that I won't name.
Thank you.
And somebody was like, "Oh my God, you did the voice perfect!" And I was like, "Oh wait, did I just do the voice? Oh, I did."
Yeah, Laura bought that book, and I've been looking through it, and I'm just like, dang, that's so bad. Yeah, it's really bad.
It's rough. It's so rough.
Audrey,
And I sent I had somebody who did a digital copy of it, and I sent that to Dawn at the cutting board. And so she's got, and I'm like, anybody that needs it, I'll just get it to them, and that way they don't have to go buy it because it's just I have no words. I have no words, and I've tried to be honest and do fair review of it, and try to understand what the thought process was. And even for somebody who knows the writer like I do, is having a hard time with that.
Ashley Baby says that ain't nothing but corn.
I love Ashley.
I know, but it's full of corn.
Were you about to ask me a question?
Have you been able to listen to that podcast that I sent you?
I haven't. No. Life's been crazy.
Okay.
Every time I've tried, I get like 7 minutes in and I fall asleep.
I don't blame you. Okay. Brandy, since you're here, I went back and revisited the podcast that was done by the Good Wives Network that was uploaded a long time ago.
You mean the one that I was on for the first 2 episodes?
Were you on there for the first 2 episodes?
The first 2 episodes, unless she edited me out, but I was, yeah.
Okay, I've only come back to the ones about Gypsy and Nick, and I don't remember hearing you in that episode. I know Colleen.
I was in the very first introduction one, and we had Ty and Suzette on there, and there may have been some in the second one.
Okay, I think I've heard those a long time ago, but I was wondering. So, I'm re-listening to it, and I'm listening to their description of Dee Dee, and I'm listening to their description of Gypsy's medical records. And I feel like I'm in an alternate universe when I'm listening to that now, because all of the FOIA documents and all of the medical records that have been released are completely different than what they're sitting there talking about. It's almost like like an alternate universe. So can you explain that to us a little bit about what was going on?
Now, I have had conversations with Colleen since the whole thing with her license had come into question. Her and I have had lots of conversations, and I adore her. We were pitted against each other quite a bit. So let me just get that out there before anybody says that I was mean to her. I can be considered mean a lot of times because I'm very blunt, and people like Colleen who have softer personalities don't take it very well. So it's let's see, because I don't want to get you in any kind of trouble with how I word this.
No, you can be honest. I mean, we're being honest because we're talking about something that's been put out there that people are going to find and consume. So we need to educate people on what they're listening to and why it's so drastically different from what we're seeing today.
Well, it's easy to, for one, we never had the FOIA. Why? I don't know. I didn't ask those questions because I was under the impression we had all the documents. We did not. I do know that there are 2 years of medical files there's a span of time. If you've heard her say that there was no medical stuff happening, that's not true. There was. She just wasn't given that medical information.
Okay.
So she does not have all of the documents like she likes people to think she does.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to spin things to fit your narrative. Now, as far as that microdeletion, the chromosome disorder, however you want to word it, we were trying to say there was a chromosome disorder years ago. Ty brought it up.
Yeah, I remember.
And Fancy shot that down. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it was because Colleen said that didn't matter. And they were trying to say that Ty's medical issues were affecting her memory and her way of understanding documents because Ty had a tumor.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of infighting that happened. And I know myself, I went through thousands of pages of dental documents. And then there were documents. There's a time, and I don't know what she did with the video. She had it on TikTok at one point, but when all of this started coming out last year, things were removed. But Tori is sitting there, and Tori was one of the original partners with Fancy. And Tori is reading medical documents, and it's the doctor's talking about the first time seeing the patient on the very next page in the same date. Like it's not even like a week later, it's in the same date. His last note is, every time I see this patient, she is so happy. And it's like you just said, 6 sentences before this is the first time you've seen her. So how can it now be the documents we read at the time didn't fit anything? Like doctors would contradict themselves on the exact same page. It was really weird. It was really weird.
I have a question about that. Is it a chance that it's the nurse writing the note and it was the nurse had seen them before?
It said the doctor, but it could be the nurse. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm asking because I've stated, like, I have a special needs son, and a lot of his specialists are in the same clinic. So we do see a lot of the same nurses, but not always the same doctors.
Well, I believe this was the same doctor she saw from then on. I don't want to say a doctor's name because I might have it wrong.
Yeah.
Because Lord, this was a long time ago. That I haven't even looked at any of the documents other than what's come out in this last year, since 2019. So I believe from what I remember Tori reading, it was the same doctor, not the nurse. But I mean, it could have been like the nurse could have been taken, for him, who knows? A lot of that just didn't fit. None of it fit. Reading it, I remember looking at the dental stuff going, I don't understand why we did this. There were no cavities, but then we pulled teeth. There were things that happened that didn't make sense.
Mhm.
That just did not make sense.
Now, have you seen all of these medical records that have been put out lately about the
In the last year,
cavities?
I've kind of glanced at things. In the end, if I'm real honest, I'm sick of Gypsy.
I get it.
And that's just, it's on a personal side for me. I don't know that we're ever going to get all of it out there, the truth.
Mhm.
And in the end, we're not going to get Dee Dee back. And in the end, Nick's not getting out of prison.
Yeah.
And sadly, Nick was failed way before Gypsy, in my opinion. Not any slight on his family. I just don't think they knew. I don't think they had the right resources to help them understand how to deal with Nick.
Mhm.
And that failed him.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
So I did have one question. You said that it doesn't mention cavities, but I've seen quite a few of the dental reports that do mention dental caries, which is just the dental word for carie or for cavities.
Right. There were some that were. Now, there were cavities, but then there were some that didn't, like because there were hundreds of pages. I literally went through so much paper, printing all of that out, trying to organize it and help the nurses organize it. And that was another problem, is we had multiple nurses doing work, but then nobody communicating what they were doing. And so I do think that's a lot of why what Fancy put out contradicted itself.
Hold on. New Orleans lady, you've been following this since 2000? Why since 2000?
Yeah, because it didn't happen until 2015.
That's what I'm wondering. Everyone turned their backs on Dee Dee. So either you knew, so you probably knew these people, is what I'm assuming you're saying there.
Oh, is that New Orleans?
Yeah, New Orleans lady.
She's family.
Okay. Okay. She said she lived in Golden Meadow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, which is where they're all from.
yeah. Yeah, I actually am very interested to know more about, Gypsy and Dee Dee's time there and what was actually really going on. I know Audrey has spoken to at least a couple of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're learning pretty much the same thing that we've always kind of heard, is that Dee Dee was a social butterfly, a pretty easy person to talk to and get along with, right?
Yeah, and very doting. And from a few of the people I've spoke to, but one that has a very, very close connection. She said that her observations of Dee Dee wasn't her being an overbearing parent just to be overbearing. It was more like if Gypsy was outside playing with other kids, she would watch her because Gypsy would tire out way quicker than the other kids. But it wasn't like she didn't let her participate. She just kept an eye and made sure she didn't overdo it. Kind
Mhm.
thing. And there's a lot more conversations I've had in the background, but I'm not at liberty to really say much at the moment.
Yeah, it's kinda like, so my mom, for instance. So my aunts and I disagree wholeheartedly on my mom. They think that she was a really great person, and she was a really great person and a great friend, but she wasn't a great mom. And, so, I'll hear all these stories about my mom and the things that she did for people and just the great person that she was. But then I'm thinking, dang, she was a really bad mom, and every time I bring it up, or whatever, my family gets kind of upset because they see her as, this, because she was very sporty, active. She loved to fish, so she was constantly out doing things, playing baseball or basketball. She was just a very fun person. But as a mom, she neglected me, and I hardly ever spoke to her. So I have a very different vision of my mom compared to what everybody else thinks and sees.
Well, I think that goes with saying that be raised by the same parents but have different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's very true.
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't doubt one bit that Dee Dee loved Gypsy with every ounce of her being. I don't deny. I've never thought otherwise. And I do think she did absolutely everything for her. I think that's why it doesn't surprise me that she was washing the Barney the night before, if that's the story we're going with. I don't find that to be strange at all
Mhm.
because I'm 52 years old. My mom is 84. And that woman, if she is in my home, she is doing my dishes. Do you have laundry for me to do? Mother. Like, my mom's one of those that wants to do everything for me.
And
Um,
your mom
and
for
it's like, Mama, I have hands, I can function.
And I think, Audrey, you and Ashley Baby had that woman on from, where's she, Australia, New Zealand?
yes, Australia.
So there was an aha moment for me, and it was that part of the micro deletions many times has schizophrenia attached to it. And that could have been a part of her reality, looking at her mom as somebody who was a threat to her, just because of that running in the background.
Mhm.
Well, and it's my true belief that she does believe that that Dee Dee was this monster, but I don't think that it's over the medical stuff. I think it's likely because Dee Dee was like, you have all these health issues because she says, like, my mom told me I couldn't get married, I couldn't have kids. I don't think the conversation necessarily went down that way. I think if she does have some form of schizophrenia or mental health, even that in her mind that's what she heard, but likely her mom was saying it's not wise to do these things, like have a kid because you can pass this on and all this. But we've seen it in emails, we've seen it in social media. Gypsy hears one thing and interprets another.
Mhm.
I just had a memory when you were talking. So I was born with a hole in my heart, and I was like 3 pounds, 12 ounces when I was born. I would stop breathing in the middle of the night. They didn't have any sleep apnea machines or anything that I know of, or, it took a long time for them to find out what it was. I was actually 4 by the time they figured it out, and my grandma would have to run me to the hospital all the time. And yeah, it was just really bad. Come to find out, it's a genetic thing. My mom had it. That's what she ended up dying from. My uncle has it.
Oh,
My
wow.
great grandmother had it. So, yeah, but I remember being told at a very early age, you can't have kids and you can't ever do drugs or you'll die the first time you do them. That's what I was told my whole life, so I remember the first time I ever tried weed, I was freaking out because I was like, am I going to die?
What movie is it where they're like, it's the sex ed teacher and he's like, if you hold hands, you will have sex and you will get STDs and you will die.
I don't remember. Hey, millennial.
Wow.
Good to see you. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, everyone. Hey, Audrey. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Nancy.
Hello.
Hey, everyone in the chat.
Well, how's your day been?
Not bad. I had to take the cats to the vet. Dave lost his privileges of being dropped off at the vet to be worked in. I have to stay with him because he was grumpy and rude to the ladies last time. So
When you texted me that earlier, I thought you meant to the cat ladies, so I thought he was a tomcat.
Oh no, it was the vet ladies. He was having skin allergies. He's allergic to good food. He's overweight. So I had tried to put him on healthy weight, high quality food that was expensive as hell. And he broke out in blisters from it. They said it was a food allergy. I had to put him back on like Purina and Temptation Streets. That's all he can handle, I guess.
He said, give me back my fatty foods.
Yeah, I want my baby back ribs.
Poor guy. Well, we're just sitting here talking about how I went and re-listened to the Good Wives Network's podcast
Oh
they
Lord.
put out a long time ago. And I started listening to what they were saying, and it's almost completely night and day different information than what we're seeing now. And
Mhm.
especially like even in the medical records, it's like the way that Colleen describes the medical records and what she's seeing is so vastly different that I was just like, what the heck's going on? And I just remember thinking, Like, are they reading the same medical records? What's
Well,
going on?
to me, it's kind of like how people can go and ask Chat GPT about this case, and depending on the way that you ask it, it
Yeah.
gives you the different bias. Like, you can look at those medical records and kind of apply your own bias. To me, it's more important to try and figure out how the doctors interpreted what Dee Dee was saying at the
Mhm.
time. But that's just me opining. Like I always say, I'm just a person with a YouTube channel, not a professional of any kind.
Well, and another thing that Colleen did tell me was that there were things that she would explain to Fancy, and the interpretation that Fancy would give would be kind of like how Gypsy does. She hears it one way and says it a completely another way. There were things that
Twisting it.
were added and twisted in what she would explain that Colleen told me she did not say. So,
Well, to be fair though, I heard it come out of
coming
Colleen's
from
mouth.
now.
Yeah. So that's why I was so shocked, because I've always been led to believe that she was their medical professional and that she was really up on reading medical documents and stuff like that. So last night when I was laying there listening to that, I was like, what the heck? I mean, this is just completely different from what we're
Are you
hearing now.
able to share quick what you found shocking, or would it be too repetitive for everyone who's been in here a while?
Well, it wouldn't be repetitive. I didn't take any notes because I was actually laying down trying to go to sleep. Asked me why I was listening to that trying to go to sleep. I don't know. But hold on. But I just remember hearing Colleen like talk about how Dee Dee was creating this scenario where it was all Dee Dee creating this. And I just encourage you guys to go back and listen to it. I would play it, but we would get struck right away. So I'm not going to do that, but I encourage everybody to go, and not the one on Spotify, but one of the ones on another site. I can't remember what it is right now, but I sent it to you, Ashley, and I think I sent it to you, Millennial. And yeah, it's just like, oof, it's crazy. It's a lot. Yeah, Joy,
Interesting.
me and my memory. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people back then were just all on everything that Dee Dee said to the doctor must have been a fabrication, and didn't really look at what the doctors were saying back.
Mhm. And I also find it, you know, there's no way that people can tell me that that doctor followed her basically her whole life until she was in prison, and he didn't pick up on anything, because I mean, he was with them in social situations from my understanding as well.
Are you talking about Beckerman?
Yeah, I believe so.
I haven't heard of him. Well, I've heard rumors of him going to dinner with them, but I've not
Yeah.
seen it where I could feel it was for sure. Have you,
I don't know. That would be Brandy. Do you know anything about that?
Randy?
Um, there have been rumors with that he was involved with them from very early on, and he was a part of the con. Is the rumors that we had way back.
Sorry, I'm
Mhm.
laughing at Cherokee Girl.
So there's no, at this time, no proof.
Okay.
No, nothing. I don't want to say
It really
tangible.
feels to me like, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you, Audrey?
No, you're fine. You're fine, hon.
It really feels to me like Munchausen by proxy was kind of like a trend diagnosis in
Yes, I
the
agree with that.
early to mid 2000s. And as soon as that got latched onto, well, then every single thing Dee Dee did was looked at as a product of that.
100%.
When it, in my, and not everybody agrees with me, and that's absolutely okay. I could be wrong. But in my opinion, it was kind of half attention for charities and half, actually don't know what's actually wrong with her, but something is,
Mhm.
and trying to figure it out. And that's just my perception.
Well, if you listen to doctors talk about Munchausen by proxy in general, it starts from moms getting attention from real issues. And
That's
and I think that's where they went with that, but never really looked at it past that. It was just like, well, she was getting attention, so it's Munchausen. And boom,
that's one of
you know.
yeah, that's one of my issues with the whole Munchausen diagnosis is people hear that and they think of the horrific cases where, children are almost killed by their parents. I heard of a case where a
Yeah.
parent put Drano in the child's G tube, and then a case where a parent injected fecal matter into the child's veins. Like that's what people think of when they hear Munchausen by proxy. They
Yeah.
don't realize people will diagnose that. Doctors like the Feldmans are diagnosing that based on attention seeking only. And that feels like any hypochondriac or over like health anxiety mom could get that label.
Hmm.
And what doesn't make sense to me is if you go and you really look at everything we know, Dee Dee wasn't the one getting attention. Gypsy was. Dee Dee wasn't the one really benefiting. Gypsy was. Like, if you look around the house, everything in it basically was for Gypsy. But not only that, Gypsy was getting better after the appointment. She wasn't getting worse, which with Munchausen, they typically get better in care, but as soon as they go back home, they get worse. And that
Yeah.
wasn't.
No, I agree.
I would slightly disagree with the attention for Gypsy only because I remember everyone talking so much about what a good focused mom Dee Dee was and how everything she does is for Gypsy.
Mhm.
And it felt like there were like I mean, like I've said before, I didn't meet them personally. I avoided it because I've had a creepy feeling. And I feel like Dee Dee was doing her best, but she very much enjoyed being known as doing her best.
I
That's
can
the
see that. Yeah.
only attention for Dee Dee I can see. And that's not quite the same as what people think of as, actually getting attention for themselves. And maybe it's not, doesn't, wouldn't even qualify. But she did really enjoy, it seemed, being known as
The
super,
best
super
mom,
caring,
right?
but who wouldn't? Who wouldn't enjoy
Right.
being known for that?
Well,
Mhm.
and I can understand like your sentiment on that too, but then I have to come back and look at it as my point of view with my son being special needs. It's turned me into a massive helicopter parent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people all the time are like, "Oh my God, you're so good with him." And it's not that, I seek that out or anything. I am good with him. I'm not going to deny that.
Mhm.
It's more because I feel like I have sat there in a hospital with him in Springfield, in Children's in Arkansas, as well as in Columbia University Hospital, and watched my child almost die
You
three
did
days.
the work, yeah.
So I realized like every moment with him could be cut short.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if that's more of where Dee Dee was coming from of I have this sick child, I'm gonna make the time last while I can, you know?
That was definitely the impression.
Yeah.
And maybe it was correct. Like I said, I could have been wrong. But
Well,
what was the
Nancy,
sec Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask Nancy. So when you saw Dee Dee fluttering around, when you saw her, did she look like she was trying to soak up the attention, or was she trying to focus it more on Gypsy?
That was my friend.
Oh, your
That was,
friend. Okay. Yeah.
but,
Sorry, I
but
forgot
yeah,
about that.
she said that she just seemed, she was butterflying around, very social. She knew all the players. She knew people with the news and the ball field. Like she was really plugged in with all the key players that would put this event on for the Leukemia and Lymphomia Society and Hammond's, so it gave her a lot of connections, and made her very instantly recognizable with
Mhm.
Gypsy. So yeah, I could see where that would be, especially if you are tending to this person who is sick and whatever was happening in that house, to get out and to be among people where you feel important and have fun and people doting on you for a change. Like I could see where that could be a very big dopamine hit.
Mhm.
Well, and plus we've seen from Gypsy's emails that when Dee Dee would get a boyfriend, Gypsy would run them off. She spit on the one guy.
Yep.
Just about to say that.
Yeah, and I mean, she talks a lot about, well, I was alone with my mom, well, you ran people off too, so you wanted to
Mhm.
be alone with your mom.
She
The
didn't
way
get
that Gypsy talked about attention was very strange, and I thought initially, way back before got deep into this, because I just, it was so horrific to our community. I didn't want to know more at the time.
Mhm.
Not until she got out, and I saw her acting crazy, and I'm like, what is going on? And but the way that she always talked about her mom and attention seemed really weird to me. But after reading her emails and watching the way that she interacts in relationships with men, I feel like that was, I don't know. I mean, that was a thing in her, in
do you
Gypsy.
think seeking?
Like,
Yeah, like she is very, very focused on the amount of attention that she gets. And Dee Dee maybe created that by over focusing on her. But,
Yeah.
if she was sick and acting wild every time Dee Dee took her around other people, I'm not sure what choice she felt to a certain
Mhm.
extent.
And I always go back to the one show where the grandpa and the whole, she's saying that he abused her as
Mhm.
a kid. Like, this stems from somewhere, right? Like, maybe there is some truth to that. And I try to be a little compassionate about that part of it, because if that's true, that would explain a lot.
Right. And I'm with you there, Nancy.
Mhm.
100%.
And that
Mhm.
he was weird in that show. Like, something was wrong.
The grandpa, whenever he said, "No, she touched me," made me really look side eye him and wonder about that story. And
Yeah.
if maybe that there is something to that, and that might explain some of her issues.
Because
Mhm.
Yeah.
as a survivor of abuse at that age, I struggle ever doubting somebody's claims. And I tend to watch the alleged perpetrator's reactions to things. And it was very suspicious to me. Um, but then again, we see Gypsy lie about everything. So it's like, it's very hard. It's very hard.
That's the hard part about it. She lies about so much that even stories that none of us would ever want to doubt.
Well, and it's the
Yeah.
stories for me that makes me question it.
The what?
Well, I will say, in this from therapy, from a therapy aspect, because I had to go through therapy to deal with my abuse from my childhood, and it took a long time of therapy to find the real story, because I would have weird memories and they wouldn't match.
Mhm.
Because as a child, your memories are formed by everything around you, and when you get older, it's muddled. And so
Right.
that's why she needed therapy, and she's never done it. And so until she does actual real therapy, she's never going to have a true picture of what happened in any
It
of these.
seems like she did several different forms of therapy in prison. In spite of her assertion that, it wasn't available, we've seen her in her emails talking about seeing different therapists,
Yeah.
doing phone therapy, seeing them in person, and other different things. But I'm sure
I
she
agree.
needs more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
So, Nancy, since we've got you here, tell us about the day of the press conference. Since not a lot of people realize that you were there the day of the press conference when Gypsy and Nick were arrested.
Yeah.
Sure. I was the assistant news director and a news anchor, breaking news reporter, storm chaser, all this stuff. And yeah, the whole like picture of them the picture, they're missing and they're cuddling, and it's like, that was a weird picture to
Yes.
put out. And then she's missing, and never in a million years did we think it would end up like this.
Mhm.
And so we're going to the press conference thinking, who took this girl? Who took this
Disabled child.
yes, like who would have
Yeah.
done this, and that's how we're walking into the press conference, like, what's going on? And then when Sheriff Arnott was just like, things are not as they appear. And they're going to, if any GoFundMe's are set up, do not give money to this. Like, he was putting out warnings left and right. And
Hmm.
just all like, what is he saying? We just all went, huh. Well, you go back to the station and you start getting on Facebook, and I think I found 4 of her accounts, or 3, like, just like that. I was like, oh, like, you start piecing together really quick. You're like, oh, they are looking at something completely different than we've ever seen. And then I talk about the mugshots, right? And we have them on a table and we're taking pictures, and we're like, why do they look alike? Like, that little girl,
Yeah.
disabled child in the picture cuddling with her mom is not this person I'm seeing in front of me. And why do her and this guy named Nick look alike? And then under gender, it had nothing. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
wait, this is a girl, right? And so we called Wisconsin and we called the jail, and the guy was like, hold on. And we were like, whoa, what is happening? And he's like, it's a girl. And we're like, oh my gosh. we thought we really broke a story there. But yeah, they could have had that spot. And we were panicked because your whole world is just, it's like I talking
Mhm.
about the tornado wreckage earlier. You're like, nothing fits here. What is happening? And so
Yeah.
everything crashing down for us,
Thank you.
working in media, but us as a community, very quickly after that press conference, we realized we'd all been duped. Like, something terrible is happening here.
Mm-hmm. And has and so the sentiment hasn't really changed because no one really knows the difference, right, about what actually happened.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows that. It just, the people who are involved don't want to talk. It seems to me they
No.
just don't want to dwell on it anymore, or embarrassed, or they feel duped. And the rest of the community, I'm telling you, like, once a day, they're like, what do you, I'll see somebody, what are you working on? I'll be like, oh, my podcast and this gypsy thing. And they're like, what are you talking about? And it's nothing you can sum up in
Yeah.
60 seconds. Like, oh, never mind. Like, where do you even start? Because you have to start from ground zero of this woman is a woman who, oh gosh, was in cahoots with her attorney, and now he's her manager, and they made it all
There's
up,
so
kind of,
much.
but not really. But she was sick, but she,
Right.
I always sum it up with the narrative we were sold and bought wasn't the one that was true.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy, I had a similar experience because my good friend and some of my family were neighbors of Gypsy and Dee Dee in Aurora, Missouri. I'm from Aurora, Missouri originally. And, before they got the Habitat House in Springfield.
Mhm.
And so I had moved on and left Aurora and moved to another city. And whenever I found out about it, my friend was telling me, and she's like, so you remember Gypsy, Dee Dee? And I'm like, yeah, cancer, wheelchair, Katrina, blah, 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 a lot of charities, Disney trips, not going to live. And she was like, yeah, so Dee Dee was found stabbed to death. And I'm like, oh my God, is Gypsy okay? Yeah, that was everyone's first reaction. Like,
Yeah.
oh God, like,
Who took the
disabled
little
child,
girl?
like,
What have they done with her?
yeah.
Wait, what do you mean she was in a wig and in a taxi and demanding? And
That was the next statement. Yeah. Eventually it was, well, brace yourself.
she can walk. Brace yourself. She can walk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said that there was like a gasp, when you guys found out that she could walk and everything.
It's just like, see, my friend was in the courtroom. I wasn't in the courtroom, but my friend was.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Like, we, if things had happened, so we knew she could walk, but just to see it, and just like her coming in the court, like, oh, like, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
She can walk. Why is her head so shaved? What's going on?
Nobody questioned why it was so small.
I remember also thinking how weird it was. Her and Nick looked so much alike whenever her hair was that specific
Mhm.
length of her mugshot.
And that's always, especially when Nancy first really brought it to my attention, because I think Nancy was the first one that really was like, they look so much alike. And then when I started looking
Yeah.
at it, I was like,
Because
was
we
that
had the mugshots. The officers had put the mugshots side by side on the table, and we're like,
Uh-huh.
"Whoa, what's going on?"
Yeah.
I have a theory that that was on purpose so that, like, if he got seen out of the house, she could say, "Oh no, that was me."
Yeah, but then she wore a
Well,
wig, so it's like, it's just weird.
well, it's weird that Ken looks so much like Rod and Ryan looks so much like Dee Dee too. Just saying.
Pattern.
True story.
Dixie thinks that she's the real life Taylor Swift Easter egg.
That's the first thing that got me looking at her, was when she wanted to go see Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. That was my first red flag, when I was like, oh, no, something's not right. And I didn't even really know much about her story at all. Just wheelchair, sick mom, boyfriend killed mom, and celebrities and meet and greets and Disney and stuff. That's all I knew. And I was like, oh, well, if she's wanting to go back to that life, something's not right. And so I started investigating after that.
Yeah, I mean, and celebrity meet and greets are absolutely, definitely something that she learned from Dee Dee. And that's one thing that Dee Dee did that was not a crime. It's not a crime to want to meet celebrities. And, that's a lot of people do that. No big deal. It was a crime to say that, Gypsy was dying when she wasn't, but whatever. Anyway, but Gypsy, after, taking her mom out for all that, like, she got out and the first thing she wanted to do was a very, very Dee Dee thing. And even Rod called her out on it in that show.
Yeah, he calls her out a bunch, but then, he was condoning a
He's
lot of
pimp
her
juice.
actions.
He's still pimp juice.
That is so weird.
My pimp juice.
My first red flag on changing my opinion about her was hearing that podcast where she said she didn't identify as a murderer and throwing Nick under the bus. Yeah. I mean,
That was a big deal.
She didn't like my comment to her about that. I was on the phone with Christy and told her she had lost her damn mind, that you don't matter if you identify it or not, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus
told her
you
then,
pled
"You just
guilty.
ruined
Like,
it."
that's a life identification.
Right. I told her, I said, you just ruined any chance of anybody having any sympathy for you. That statement alone.
Yeah, and she had to admit to her actions in front of the parole board to even get out. She had to admit that she was a murderer. So her coming out and immediately saying that she didn't identify as one was just a slap in the face to the state of Missouri and the parole board.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's just one right after the other, constantly.
So what does everybody think about the new Barney story? Because that's been the recent one that everybody's been talking about.
I think it's
What's the
bullshit.
new Barney story?
That Dee Dee washed the Barney and that's why it was in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the Barney.
Washed.
Sorry, my
Oh.
twang got me.
Or as my husband would say, worst.
So I firmly have always believed from day one that Gypsy went in that room and put Barney in there to tell her mother goodbye, in a way of
Oh
saying,
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
Mm-hmm. I think
And
so too.
I do not believe, I'd have to go back and really look, but I don't remember ever seeing any blood on the Barney. And if that
There
Barney
is
was
blood
in
on the
there-
Barney in the crime
Is there
scene.
blood on the Barney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't remember seeing any. And I haven't looked that close at any of the pictures in a really long time.
I did a live stream of them recently.
Yeah.
So I just, I'm sorry, Audrey.
I was just saying there is a little bit of blood on the Barney's leg.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think it's a load of horse dung, and she had a load in the washer and a load in the dryer, I believe, and there was a Mickey plush in the washer, if I remember. Yeah, look at the pictures. There was a Mickey in the washer with towels. Yeah, I mean, it's not far-fetched that Dee Dee washed it, but the way that it was placed, the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of blood and a bunch of other things leads me to believe. And the fact that Nick said that he saw it in her room and didn't remember seeing it in there, but he can tell a lot if I remember correctly, he was able to tell us a lot about what was in the room.
Who's saying Dee Dee watched it?
Gypsy is.
Gypsy did. She was on her friend's panel and said, let's talk about this story they all want to go with about the Barney. And my God, y'all are making more out of it than it is. And blah, 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 blah. And that her mom washed it the night before with the laundry. And that's why it was in there.
Well, it was
So
right tucked up under her neck, and it did have blood on it.
So is that the secret that Nick is hiding that he says he'll keep forever, which he probably won't if he gets a new trial?
I
Something.
think so. In my opinion,
That
yes.
Gypsy went in there.
I think it's something else.
I think Gypsy participated looking at the autopsy. The way the stabbing is on the back and they go like this, it looks like it's left and right handed. I'm no professional, but I'm just telling you, like, from what I've spoke with people about, one of my exes is a cop. He does all this kind of stuff. And even he's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The AI thing that my friend did on it doesn't fit that way, but you know, that can be explained away.
Sorry. Who did you say did something? What?
My friend, we did a panel where we took the autopsy report and she recreated it with AI and put the specs in the program and all of that. And it showed a one person.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I believe about it, but I definitely believe that she was in that room at some point after the murder.
I do believe that, yes.
What do you
Well,
think?
here's something.
What, Nancy?
Sorry, Nancy, go ahead.
Amber, what do you think Nick's big secret is then?
I don't know. I think I think that he knows that Gypsy did that, but I don't think that's like a big secret to him that she went into that room. I think there's something else that we don't know, and I just don't know what it is. To me, I feel like it's bigger than just her going in the room, unless she did actually participate in the murder. I think it might be something different. I honestly don't know. I've just, from time to time, I'll hear him do an interview, or somebody will play his interviews, or something he'll say. I can't remember at the time, but something he'll say will just trigger me to think that it was something different than that night. Something happened at on another occasion.
Okay.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I can't remember crap. So
Something I noticed recently, and I've been planning to make a video, but my God, there's just so much content. I can't make all the videos I can think of. So I'm just going to throw it out here to y'all. In both of her books, and both released and My Time to Stand, Gypsy talks about being in county with another inmate. And she says, let's see. This inmate was sharing so much of her story with me, telling me she understood what I was going through. Her being vulnerable helped me see she was a trustworthy friend. So the ease with which I cried out to this inmate was a lesson in why we need other people in our lives. You can't struggle or succeed alone. We are not wired to. My wiring has always been haywire for so long. So I decided she was bonding with me, and it was safe to form a trust. And then that inmate went to her public defender and told him everything I had told her in confidence. And she mentions that in both books. She never says that anything she told her was untrue. She said she told her everything in confidence, and then she went to her public defender, and that was Lutz and Rodriguez. And then I have them from the case book, and they say that Gypsy said she cleaned up the blood from her mother's bed to the bathroom with carpet cleaner and wipes. And she said several times, I'm going to get away with this. How she put the knife directly in Nick's hand, blah, blah, blah. She never said, neither one of them ever say she participated, but they do contradict Gypsy's story of her saying that she never ever went into the room. They say she went in there, she cleaned up, blah, 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 probably put the Barney. They don't say that, but I'm surmising she probably put the Barney. And Gypsy in her books, whenever she talks about those incidents in both books, she never says anything they said was untrue. She says they betrayed her trust and confidence after she poured her heart out to them.
And in one of those reports, there's a mention, I don't remember which girl it was, mentions a stuffed animal in the police officer's summation of
Yes, she says that Gypsy kept mentioning how she missed her stuffed animal. She couldn't remember what the stuffed animal looked like.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's in the case book that I went over recently. I'll send you the link.
There's a question for you, Audrey. What you can ask them what stuffed animal she missed so much.
There we go. I'm gonna write it down.
Uh,
I wonder what Brie will come up with.
did I hear from Glenn? I don't know who you're talking about, Cherokee girl. If you're talking about Glenn Beck, I haven't emailed him.
Audrey, can I ask you a question? When you did that Q&A with a woman who was a longtime friend
Yeah.
on Facebook and asking questions, how did you guys come to that conclusion of doing it that way?
Because we originally had spoke about doing a video, but she didn't want her face to be seen, and I'm not the most tech savvy person. And I was like, I don't know how to blur your face in a way that other people can't unblur it. And so she was like, what if we go over to Facebook, you ask the question, and then I just do a voice recording, like you know how you can hit the little microphone?
Yeah, yeah.
And I respond that way. And I was like, yeah, that actually works because Facebook gives me that I can speed it up a little bit. And then whenever I do my video, I can change the speed on there too. So that the speed of your voice is changed twice to kind of hide her identity. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
basically how we decided to do it that way.
I was wondering about her voice because I was like, dang, she's very identifiable.
Yeah, no, she's not. Like the way I sped it up, slowed it down, sped it up, you don't hear like she has the hardcore Louisiana accent, but you don't really hear it that way.
Oh, good job.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I wondered what that came about. Very interesting.
Yeah. Also, I think whenever they asked, somebody said, have you heard back from them? They may have been talking about I emailed the publisher and they have not emailed me back. And then I sent them a follow-up yesterday and I still haven't heard anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Is there any other questions you guys want to ask each other since we've got a whole bunch of people who are experienced here?
I wonder, do y'all have thoughts on the dryer sheets and her also being covered up after?
So the dryer sheets, in my opinion, I feel like if the dryer sheets had been placed there before, well, they had to have been placed there before she died, but if they had been placed there like the day she died, in my opinion, Dee Dee would have noticed the smell like when she laid down and she might have been like, what the heck, you know? Or Gypsy could have told her like a month in advance or something. Hey, mom, I learned about this new thing where we put dryer sheets underneath our, sheets or whatever, and it makes it smell better.
I know people who tuck them places like that. So
I do.
I know people that do that too. So to me, the dryer sheets are no big deal. They're just a weird coincidence kind of thing.
That's how I felt. And then, a lot of people think that the pet deodorizer or whatever is the dust that's everywhere. But I almost feel like it's real dust in a lot of those places because if you look at the cabinets in the kitchen, a lot of the dishes and stuff are covered in dust, and a lot of those like memorabilia things that they have.
We're getting that bad feedback again.
I didn't see so much of that in the kitchen, and it struck me that like the only dirty dishes was just like a couple of cereal bowls with mold like from that day.
That was also something, so when Gypsy mentioned the laundry, that was something that I was very shocked at, that there wasn't a lot of dirty laundry around the house. I remember when I first looked at the crime scene photos, I remember looking in the bathroom and there didn't seem to be like a bunch of dirty clothes on the floor. I didn't see any dirty clothes on the floor. There was that nightgown that Gypsy said she wore. But then there wasn't like laundry everywhere. And then I heard Gypsy say, "Oh, there was a whole room full of laundry." No, not really.
Well, I
There was
mean, there
just a
were
whole,
bags of clothes,
Yeah, there were
yeah,
bags in that one room with all the junk in it.
a lot of
yeah,
bags of
Washer and
clothes.
dryer full. So that, I mean, for 2 people, that could be a lot of clothes.
um, yeah. So the washer and the dryer, but I mean, if with Gypsy not participating and helping in any way, from everything we can tell, and Dee Dee not feeling well, I just thought it was interesting that the laundry was completely kept up with, from what it seemed like,
And the dishes. Yeah, like
and the
there's
dishes.
serious clutter everywhere. It almost looks like they decided to move at one point. Gypsy said, I can't remember if it was in one of her books or where I read it. I'd have to go back to my video I made about it to because I've read so many emails, information's falling out my brain, I swear.
I know,
But
right?
yeah. She said somewhere that her mom that Gypsy herself decided to unhoard the house and that she bagged up a bunch of stuff that her mom didn't need to keep and was going to throw it away, and that her mom drug it back in all the trash bags, and that's
Yeah.
why the trash bags were in the house.
I
I'm
remember
not so
that.
sure
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, that feels really odd. And then she said in an email, one of her prison emails to someone, that her mom felt like their life in Springfield was about to fall apart and that she was looking at Habitat for Humanity houses in Alaska,
Yeah.
but then she got really bad sick and gave it up. And that was a couple of years before her death.
And now Gypsy wants to go to Alaska.
Yeah, I know. It's so creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. She seems to repeat a lot of patterns. Like
Oh,
even
the patterns are so strong. Oh my God.
yeah, and like even when I was listening to that podcast last night, and I listened to the first one, just listening to Dee Dee and Rod's story, if what we were being told is true, and then knowing about Gypsy's story with Ken, it just feels very, very similar.
Yeah. Weirdly,
Hmm.
like with everything Gypsy does.
Yeah, and I don't think that they realized it when they were recording that, but it just felt like yeah, it was just way too similar for comfort, in my opinion.
Agree.
It's weird. It really is weird how similar it all is.
Yeah.
And so do we think that she's just repeating these patterns on accident or on purpose? Because she seems to practice or not practice, but what is it? Prepare a lot.
I really
Oh,
think,
she
and
says she's a prep person.
Mhm.
yeah, and listen, this is my opinion. I really do think that part of the whole killing Dee Dee was a kink to her. I think that she gets off on repeating some of these patterns.
Yeah, that's what I feel like sometimes, especially after listening to that last night and being like, wow, that's really similar. I'm not trying to promote them or anything, but go take a listen to that again, guys, and just see the stark difference between
Yeah.
what they put out and what we're learning now and what we know now about the whole thing.
Yeah, I will. I have to listen to it whenever I'm driving or cleaning, because if I turn it on and I sit down, I go to sleep. It's a problem.
I can't listen to Fancy's voice.
I was about to say, her voice
Yeah.
triggers me. So
No, like if,
Yeah.
if I'm not going to roast it, I can't listen.
right, if I'm not snarking it, I can't do it.
I get it, but I'm taking one for the team. I just need to start taking notes again.
I'm taking one for the team by reading this stupid book. Okay.
Hey, Laura.
I'm doing the same. Don't
I
worry.
know. Laura's got to come on with me so she can help me because Jesus, it's hard to do by yourself.
I'm down. Just send me a DM or something, and I'll hop on with you.
All right.
I've been watching one of my mutuals read it because every time I've tried like 4 pages in, I get so mad.
Well, I just
It's
try and
such
like
nonsense.
the formatting is what's really catching me, to be honest. I'm like, I don't even know how to start with this. So, peace and love to her, but yikes, I don't know what's going on there.
So,
Sorry,
Ruth Carroll, Christy already knew about the cookie lady and them being friendly. She already knew all that.
Yeah, I figured she did.
I
'cause,
figured
she threw the cookies away. So.
When y'all read that out, I immediately called Christy and asked her if she was okay, if she knew. She's like, "Girl, I already knew about all this. This is nothing new." I was like, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure."
Yeah, I
Oh
figured
yeah,
she
we read in
did.
the emails. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Amber.
No, I was just saying that I figured she did.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like I
we
feel
read
a
in the
little bad.
emails where not long right before Gypsy got out, Christy come up and talked to her about how Rod's a sex addict.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, he was. She said that Rod is a sex addict, and he had been shower Skyping, FaceTiming someone in the shower from Tennessee or something. A 19-year-old
Oh
girl
yeah,
from
wasn't that?
Tennessee.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
that was
yeah,
the young
yeah,
girl,
yeah.
right?
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. I forget things all the time, guys. One day or 1 minute, I'll remember something really clear, and the next, I won't remember anything. What are you doing? Oh,
It's
you're just looking through
honestly
them.
I
bad,
saw
though,
something.
regardless of if she knew or not that she's still there.
This is, yeah, I don't know. I want Gypsy in some respects to get off the internet and quit talking, but on the other hand, I'm like, please give us more because you're really, really telling on yourself.
It's
There
very
is that.
revealing.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I am tired. So if you guys have nothing else to talk about, I guess we'll wrap this up.
Yeah,
Glad
that's
I
good.
could catch the tail end of this. Sorry, y'all. I'm at my boyfriend's house.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Nancy. And guys, go check out Nancy's podcast, The Toll. I have to go re-listen to it because you told me about the devil in the Ozarks, and I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of him." It was in your podcast, but I don't remember hearing about it. So I got to go listen again and see where he connects.
I have all kinds of stories in there.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on before you go?
Yeah, so actually it's just an extension of season 2, Poison Control. It's about a woman who was investigated by the FBI for 4 years for poison. She was not charged. She has a lot of death and destruction surrounding her. I've put together a 250-page timeline, connecting her life with states, cities, families, decades. And I believe it's what the FBI needed when they did the investigation the first time. I'm begging them to re-engage. So there's so much with this. I spent 5 years of my life doing this story. There's so much that I just couldn't get to. I did 12 episodes, but I'm covering a woman's entire life. So I'm going back through and I'm connecting with characters in the story that I wanted to talk to the first time, but just didn't have the time. So I'm lining up some of those interviews right now. And one of them's with a founding member of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. And he's a doctor actually at Lake of the Ozarks now. And he reached back out to me after an initial email and said, yeah, I'll talk to you. He was actually their neighbor when they lived in Spring Lake outside of Kirksville. And he had dealings with this family. So
Okay,
I
awesome.
love the Daredevils. Got to meet them once.
Nancy,
Yeah.
where's your podcast? Is it on YouTube or do you have like on Spotify or Apple?
all 3.
Okay, good. Good.
Yep, the Toll podcast. I have season 1 and season 2 weirdly connects into season 2. So it's a crazy ride.
And it starts out with 2 little girls seeing another little girl's body in the basement.
Yeah, there's a big secret that's wrapped in season 2, outside of the poison story that you learn about, and pretty riveting.
Yeah, and that town and that house is not very far from us. So one of these days I want to go find that house and look at it. And I'm trying to work behind the scenes. Sorry. To find out some more information for Nancy. Hopefully I'm able to get it because I know a couple of people who were very heavily involved in that world back in that time. So I'm really hoping that we find some more information out for you.
People are reaching out. It's exciting. So yay.
That's good. Yes, I am a veteran too, Cherokee girl. We're on Military Broadcast Radio, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Roku.
On Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Woo, woo.
Thank you, everybody. And I guess so, Millennial, you've been just going through the emails, and you released you were going over their text messages, which I think is always a good thing to go over again.
Yeah, they've been out there for ages, but I thought, given how we've been going over so much of our emails, that it would be interesting to just go back to those OG text messages with Nick's and see how similar the patterns are, because it's just the same. It's the
Patterns,
same stuff.
patterns. Yep.
Yeah.
And Audrey, what are you working on that you want to tell us about?
I don't know. I wake up every morning and I find something new to work on. I am not organized like that. Like, I have a notepad of ideas and they're really great and they sound amazing around midnight. And I wake up and I'm like, that's not what I want to do today though. So I have a lot of ideas, just poor execution.
Yeah, I
get it.
I have a lot of ideas, and I'm starting to filter them to people now, like you and Ashley, to kind of like, because I don't know how to do TikTok, and I don't really do videos. I just do live streams now. So, so I'm just letting you guys see it all.
And Millennial, I love that you're going over the text. I've done them too. And I feel like every time I see one of your videos, I'm just going to comment on there. You make my girly parts tingle.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Do you remember that South Park episode about the Jonas Brothers where all the girls were saying that?
No.
Why do my girly parts tingle? It was in 2009, and I kind of wonder if Gypsy managed to see that somehow.
Okay,
They were literally saying that line. That was in one of her texts to Nick, y'all. You make my girly parts tingle.
Smile. Yes, Millennial is very good at smile. Brady, are you working on anything?
Well, as soon as I get this ridiculous thing of a book finished, I do old school crime. I like to go back over old cases, and so Diane Downs just had her parole hearing, and I think that's fixing to be what I go over. I want to go back over her case and do the parole hearing.
That woman is wild.
She's something. And I did it years ago and have it on a podcast, but I want to redo it. Those kinds of cases get me. I just prefer the old cases. I don't like the new stuff, and I'm so sick of Gypsy.
Yeah, no, I completely get it. That's why I don't really cover her unless, I have somebody on here to talk to about her.
I like doing it back and forth like this with everybody because, like I said the other day, I've always been seen as a Gypsy supporter, but I'm really not. I really sit more on y'all's side than I do that side because I see it in a different light. But it's exposed. It is what it is, and there's other things to share and bring light to.
I'm going to ask you a question about that. Like you said, you're friends with Christy and all them. How do they feel about you feeling that way? Unless you can't say that.
Oh, I can absolutely say. They know I don't hide secrets. I don't do dirty deeds for nobody. I've been accused of it, but I don't. I own my BS in a heartbeat. Christy respects my view and my opinion, and she says that she has always respected the fact that I've stood true to that. And Christy and I fought for a long time. Like, I was very angry with Christy years ago because I didn't understand a mother befriending people like, I don't know if y'all know who Natasha Cooper is.
Know who she is.
She had a group on Facebook that had horrible memes about Gypsy, and when she befriended her, it made me angry because I couldn't understand a mom befriending somebody that talked that way about my child. And she's a stepmother, but it's still her child. A stepmother, a step parent is still a parent.
Yeah.
And I felt like at that time, and I still feel it, that Gypsy was failed by the adults in her life. An absent father, and all of that we know. And it bothered me. And that was the little girl that I fought for, and that I still tend to catch myself trying to fight for, was that little girl that the adults should have protected that they didn't, because Rod failed.
Mhm.
And so Christy knows my opinion on that. And when I explained it to her, she said that she respected that. And I mean, we've been friends ever since. I mean, I haven't talked to her in a while, but because I don't fight for them, you know.
Mhm.
Right. I appreciate you sharing that.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, Brandy's very vocal about what she thinks and feels about everybody and everything. So don't hesitate to ask her if you ever have any questions.
She'll let you know.
Yeah. And I am working on I created a new subreddit for I'm gonna mute you or Audrey, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Sorry. um so I am working on a subreddit on the Lawton serial killer. That started happening officially in 1999, and one of the women who was a victim went to my high school. Her name was Mandy Raitt, and I have a lot of friends and family who knew her. I did not know her. I had a couple of classes with her. I actually remember being in ROTC with her now. I forgot that in the beginning. I went through my yearbook the other day and I was like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, I'm working on that with somebody, trying to hopefully create a documentary. There's a platform that I met at CrimeCon that's willing to help me get that done. And so, if anybody has any information about the Lawton serial killer, the Cash Road killings, please go to that subreddit and interact and post and tell me whatever you can, or send me an email at intotheweeds@mbradio.us. And then I'm also working on the Athena Hogan case in the background. So, and I'm hoping to start going over that again soon. And then we're also going reviewing the Amy King book.
Duggar King is
Amy
what she has
Duggar
on the
King.
book.
Okay.
Duggar
Amy
King.
Duggar King's book. Because Mary Duggar, her grandmother, and Jim Bob Duggar's mother was my Sunday school teacher for 5 years. So we are kind of going into that to check it out because yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's come out about Mary and her situation. So I want to process it with everybody else.
And it seems like
Yeah,
she
that's
has
been
a lot of,
interesting.
yeah, she has a lot of similarities to Anna, potentially,
Yeah.
allegedly. So
Yeah, it's Holy Disruptor. Thank you, Rebrand. And oh, you're listening to it right now, almost
Oh,
done.
and speaking of rebrand, she has asked me, and I've got to do this. She wants me to do the Stainer case, and I keep forgetting it. But I watched the documentary on it the other night. So
The Stainer,
class?
yes,
Steven Stainer and Carrie Stainer.
where the boy that was kidnapped for 7 years, and then his older brother turned into a serial killer.
Yeah, it's
And
wild.
it's a wild story with that family, and she asked me to do that last year, and I keep going. I've got gets on my list, and I've got my document, all the stuff saved, and everything keeps happening. Now that we've got me to the house, I can get focused.
Yeah, well, I would be very interested to hear a
Yeah,
breakdown of that. I've
absolutely.
never seen any like FOIA documents or anything come out about that.
I haven't either. I need to get those.
Yeah, and I am working in the background sending FOIAs on different cases for people and on Gypsy's case and Nick. And so, oh, Brandy is Uncorked with Brandy.
Actually, it's changed. Hold on.
Oh.
I'll comment down here. I changed my name. I'm Miss Dragon's Den.
Okay.
I can follow it from there. I changed it because I've been taking a new direction. New me.
Okay.
The Dragon's Den with Brandy.
Okay, interesting. So what does the name change symbolize, or what does that name symbolize?
Basically going into the den and dishing it out. And I have always been fascinated with dragons and
Okay.
their direction and their strength.
Okay.
It's great. I like that.
I like dragons too. I think they're cool, and I think they were really real.
Yeah.
I do too. I do too. I tell my husband all the time, I need a pet dragon. He said, babe, they don't exist. I said, liar. Don't tell me that.
I feel like my boa constrictor is a modern iteration of having a pet dragon.
Yeah. See, and I have a couple of
He's
snakes.
9 foot long.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is a big one. Mine are like 2 foot. I have sand boas. So
I have seen
I have
them.
Sambo too, but yeah, I have a BCI that's she's about 13 now.
oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen them in their cages, but thankfully they weren't out of their cages.
Oh, they're not.
Yeah,
that
she's been in my
scary.
house and seen them. I have
Oh,
I
see, and
actually
I'm
have
going, can we get her out? I want to play. I love
Yeah.
snakes.
My daughter has
I
one
have
down.
a reticulated python that is actually longer than Alice. He's 12 foot long, but he is lighter than Alice because he's thinner than her. So Alice weighs like 50, 60 pounds and he weighs like 30, 40.
Oh, wow.
I think it's funny that your boa constrictor / dragon is named Alice, my mom's name.
Nice.
Saying she was
She's
a
such a
snake.
sweet old lady. Alice is.
Every time I hear her say that, I just laugh inside. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, thank you everybody for being here and for hanging out with us on Veterans Day. I know in the beginning we talked a little bit about it, but please, if you feel so led, go to mbradio.us to check out Military Broadcast Radio and what we do for veterans, and donate and just help us continue to help veterans. And oh, by the way, I keep forgetting, we just got a partnership with Sony. So
Nice.
yeah, so our trailer or our outro is going to have a trailer for Nuremberg. So please go watch Nuremberg. I haven't seen it yet. I'm thinking about actually breaking down and going to the movie theater
There you
to
go.
watch it.
I'll go with you.
The trailer does look good. So yeah, that's what we're doing now. So from
Nice.
time to time we will have previews of different Sony movies, and so thank you everybody for joining us. Please go out there and do something good to change the world for the better, and be blessed. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys.
Justice Jackson, they captured Herman Goring alive.
Tell me about him.
He's the face of the Nazis. I'm gonna put Goring on trial.
Never escapes the hangman's noose. Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
Goering has to fall.
You don't just have to win, you have to be flawless.
You're walking into a trap.
Knowing what we know now, would you still follow Adolf Hitler?
Nuremberg, rated PG-13, now playing only in theaters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.